you have to be willing to make mistakes. I think between the sink or swim mentality my dad gave me, he just pushed me out and tell me to do something.
Trevor Turnbow is a visionary builder and founder of Turnbow Construction. From collecting rent at 12 to leading multi-million-dollar projects, he's proof that growth starts when you stop waiting and start building. Get ready for a conversation about risk, learning, and building something that lasts.
So you were collecting rent since you were 12?
They followed the I do, we do, you do method, where at first I'd follow them. I never gave up. I kept going forward and I kept saying yes.
You're getting these leads before anybody else?
I'm always looking at trying to stay competitive and just get one leg up.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Trevor Turnbow. I'm with Turnbow Construction. We've been in business. My family's been in the DFW area doing construction for about 50 years. I started my company back in about 2009 when I was just fresh out of high school. I graduated in 07 and I had a few jobs doing like property management and those kind of things through my family's business, but I wanted to branch out and take on new clients, not just work for my parents. So I started when I was about 19 in that realm, and it's just been great ever since. I started my own LLC in 2018, and I didn't really know how to run a company. I just knew how to do construction. And it was great. I sold like a brand new ground up retail strip center in Arlington across from like an old college I went to. It was across from TCC, but I had no clue how to run a business. So like I was finishing that job and everything looked good, but then I'm scrambling to find the next job, and I had a superintendent, but besides that, I was wearing all the other hats, and I had grown a little too quick. I moved to Florida thinking I could just do exactly the same thing I did in Texas, and pretty much everyone left. I lost my whole team, and then I was still doing work in Texas, but then I'd moved to Florida and I found out there's licensing requirements. There's all this red tape.
Right, yeah.
So I actually ended up getting a job, and I learned how to run a business through working at another business. But before that, I had never really worked in the construction world as a operator or director or anything like that. I just jumped in. I knew how to do construction. Since then, I think that was the best thing that could have happened to me, because now I'm able to scale. I think we've got 14 full-time people right now. And we just started this new project. It's in Dallas. It's a high-rise third floor renovation of a hospital. And then we're going to do the seventh floor. Each floor is 16,500 square foot.
Wow.
We do large projects like that. And then we also do small projects like the Watermill Expresses that we do in-house. So between those two, and then we're looking at projects in Houston, doing some hospitals out in Houston.
How are you just getting most of your business just from word of mouth because you've been doing it so long now?
Word of mouth, and then we just took on this new AI program called, let me look it up. I think it's called, it starts with an M, but it's a new software that lets us see what's available before the public sees it.
Wow.
And they go through and they actually like pinpoint on land transfer titles, replats, like they're pulling up a lot of information, and they're able to pretty much give us the lead before it hits the open public.
Wow.
So
And you'll get their contact and then you'll just reach out to them on that. Wow, that's awesome. So you're getting these leads before anybody else and able to, so is that keeping you from having as much competition as well?
I'm sure it helps. I'm always looking at trying to stay competitive and just get one leg up.
Sure.
So I think between that and just word of mouth and having connections at the cities and stuff, I think we're around 30 different licensed cities in Texas now.
Wow.
So we're licensed across Texas. We've gone as far as El Paso, and that is like a 14-hour drive. It's about a 2-hour flight. Like Texas is a big state.
Oh, it is. It's huge. People don't understand.
No, I've thought about getting into other like states, and we've teamed up with the national architect that's doing that with us. So now we're bidding on projects that are in other states, but we're going under his license because he can do all the architecture design fee, he can do the engineering, all that stuff, but he doesn't know how to run the construction. So now we're teaming up, and we've got a project in Missouri that we're hoping to start soon. And beyond that, we'll go anywhere, because it's really all the same stuff. And we're really fortunate to be here in Texas because there's the least amount of red tape in this state. I've worked in Denver, Colorado. I've worked in Florida. I looked at a project in California. It was actually the Malibu, California Hilton
California would
Hotel.
be a nightmare. Oh
Oh,
my
it
God.
was. And everything looked great on paper. And then I told them I'm needing a check directly to my company. I'm not set up here. They flew me in. I stayed the night at this nice hotel. We took a look at their scope of work. Like everything looked good, but I don't have workers' comp. I don't have general liability for the state of California. And then they told me they wanted me to get a
Yeah,
new
yeah.
LLC in California, which was really strange. Like it was just so many barriers to being able to actually start working.
That's
By the time I
wild.
was done with all my red tape, I could have just done it. So
Yeah,
it just
yeah,
didn't make sense.
yeah,
It was a
absolutely.
good
I can
experience,
see
but
that. Yeah, it's
yeah.
wild. The Palisades, that giant fire they had there, they haven't done anything. They haven't even started demoing the sides.
Oh
So
man,
it's just
I
all
would
the
love
red
to do
tape.
that.
That's got to be a freaking nightmare. So it sounds to me like you really always had the drive. You didn't quite know what you were going to do, but you had the balls to just jump in there and do it. Is that something you learned from your family or that come natural? Or I was the same way. I was like, I screwed up a lot of stuff, but it was the best teacher that I ever had was from the mistakes, honestly.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, you have to be willing to make mistakes. And yeah, I think between the sink or swim mentality my dad gave me, he just pushed me out and tell me to do something and figure it out. He was hard ass, and I think that
Sure.
helped pave the way to figuring things out. I think the school systems are set up that way. They're going to set you up for learning how to do something. The school systems, that's K through 12 is all about memorization, not really understanding it, just being able to remember that answer goes with that
Absolutely.
question. And then
Yep.
college taught me how to dive in, do research, make my own answer. And I did go to college. I really enjoyed going to law school. I only completed one of the 2 years, but that put me a leg up over most people because I can pretty much know that I'm following the law or breaking the law. You really need to know that as a general contractor because you're selling contracts.
Oh, for
Like being
sure.
able
Yeah.
to put all the elements of a contract together, really important.
Sure. Sure.
Um,
Absolutely.
especially like on both sides of the equation with subs or with owners. I never gave up. I kept going forward and I kept saying yes, even when situations looked hairy and maybe other people were like, don't do it. It's like, why not? Let's roll the dice. We don't make money on every deal, but we try to learn from every deal.
Sure. Absolutely. How old are you?
I'm 37.
37. Okay. Yeah. So no
Yeah.
much older than me. I'm 35. So you've been doing this, you said, so you were collecting rents and been in around the construction since you were 12, you said?
Yeah. Yeah. My dad and mom used to just drop me off at this industrial flex building that we owned, and they would just drop me off and be like, I'll be back in a couple hours. And they did it with me the first time.
Yeah.
They followed the I do, we do, you do method, where at first I'd follow them, they would pick it up,
Uh-huh.
they'd set up the introduction, and then they would do it with me, and I would come in, do it with them, and then the third time it's like you're on your own. And that's how I made an allowance was I would go pick up all the rent. And once I was done picking up rent, I had to pick up trash. And if the trash wasn't all picked up, I didn't get to leave. So I just had to pick it all up and
I love
pick
it.
up rent
Are
about once a
you
month.
gonna do the same thing with your kids, you think? Or I would love to do that with mine. I really hope that I have the wherewithal to really put them through it and make them work. I don't want to give everything to them. I think that builds character. I think it's great for them. I don't want to give them the nicest car as soon as they turn 16 and no job. And I want them to work. I want them to grind. I want them to, because I feel like that's where my work ethic has come from is wanting more and wanting to build something for myself and
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to it. And like my dad's business model was more or less buy low, sell high. And mine is a little different because I saw him sell things and then we always try to replace them, but like you can't replace the cash flow. So
yeah, it's
like
hard.
my business model is like we're gonna hold on to everything and
Yep.
we will rent it out, whatever we have to do. But I'm
Yep.
in this DFW market or just anywhere in Texas, I feel like it's really important to keep your assets,
Sure. Sure.
refinance them cash and tax free. And
Tax
then,
free, baby. Exactly.
if you really stumble into someone that really wants it bad enough, sell it and go find something else under a
Yep.
1031.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, but
Absolutely. So do you
hold on
currently own
to
rental property or commercial
it.
or what's your portfolio?
So I have three houses and two commercial properties.
Nice.
And all the houses I jumped into thinking that the market would keep going up during COVID.
Sure.
And they didn't. They did on paper,
Yeah.
but the demand wasn't there to support it. So I had one that I purchased a year and a half ago, I think it was. We renovated it. I bought it for 445. It was just a normal deal on the MLS.
Yeah.
I always look for low square footage rates. Like I bought that one at $103 a foot, I think,
Yep.
and it was 4,000 square foot, maybe 4,450.
Yeah.
And I think I paid like 400 and something thousand,
Yeah.
440, four something around there. I renovated it for about 100 grand, and then it reappraised at 850. And I put it on the market at 795, just trying to do a
Uh,
quick sale. Nothing
yep. Yep.
happened.
Didn't
Kept
sell.
dropping the numbers, and I was like,
Yep.
let's just refinance. And I plugged a tenant in there and refinanced.
Yep. Yep.
I actually found a business partner through it because I refinanced to a guy that helped me find the lender, but then also became a really close friend. So now he's renting it. He has an option to buy it, and then we're going to potentially split profits. But we got creative
Nice. Nice.
on
That's
that
a good
one.
thing about it. Even if a deal doesn't sell, time will always heal all wounds in real
Yeah,
estate. Eventually, it will go up.
yeah.
Eventually, you will buy it. I
Mhm.
have several properties like that. Maybe the equity's there on paper, but it just didn't sell. I'm just keeping them, holding them, waiting. Could sell them, could refinance them. Just so that's the beauty about real estate is it will eventually. And I'm hoping rates kind of start coming down, people get back into the market. I could see it taking back off in the next 12 months or so. Do
I
you
think
feel like
so.
that, or what's your thoughts on it?
The FDIC, they dropped like what, 0.25 or something
Yeah,
percent for the
yeah,
first
yep,
time in like
yep,
years. So they're moving in the right direction. But
yep.
yeah, for it to really become drastic, it needs to be a full point.
Oh yeah,
And
for sure. I
we
know
still,
Trump's going to reappoint the Fed chair in May of next year. And so, if nothing from nothing, he'll put in somebody. And I think Trump, he doesn't care about the long term. A great he wants to end it in a good way. So I can see him dropping it a full point, more than that, maybe even potentially. Not crazy. We won't ever get down into the threes,
no,
fours, but high fives would be good. It
Mhm.
would be fine. That's pretty healthy. So
Definitely.
I made more money this year and the year before than I was before when rates were really low. And that's just because there's a lot more opportunity, a lot less competition. I saw were you remodeling some apartments and stuff like that too?
Yeah, we've done apartments. I've also built the amenity side of apartments, which is, I think, the most fun. Doing the pool, we've done splash pads, we've done volleyball courts, clubhouses. We try to get into the weird little niche stuff like monument signs, stuff people don't really think about. But we do a little bit of everything. We've been doing mostly light industrial, commercial, retail, restaurants. We are getting started to do an 85 unit apartment complex out in Fort Worth. And
Nice.
there's no amenities on that one, but maximize the space. It has a
Sure.
32-foot retaining wall, which I've never built something that big.
That's huge. And they're
Yeah.
expensive. Retaining walls, people don't
Ugh.
understand how expensive they are. It costs some
Yeah.
money.
This one's anywhere from 1 to 2 feet up to 32, and it's a
Yeah.
1,000 foot of it. It's big.
Yeah, that's big.
That
Yeah.
wall alone's $1 million.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
It's
So
just crazy.
are you really good at underwriting your numbers? And did you ever worry that, hey, I'm not going to make money? Or are you doing cost plus or
So we do a hybrid. So we do cost plus sometimes, and then we do lump sum.
nice?
But anytime we can't make the numbers work through hiring subs, we always try to value engineer it, but we also have the capability to self-perform it.
Nice.
So like we have an operator, we have two operators. They're going to start carving out that retaining wall, and they work with us full time. They'll do general labor if they're not actively in a tractor. And then, so on that one, we couldn't find a sub that would take it on for where we needed it. So we're
Sure.
self-performing the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I do. That's all my stuff is guys that work for me full time. And then the trades like electrical, plumbing, I'll sub all
Hmm.
that out. But the nitty gritty labor, that's how I make my money is in the margins like
Yeah.
that. And your stuff is such a bigger scale. Most of my stuff is single family. I do eventually want to go into commercial apartments. I've owned some apartments and some storage. But that's what eventually I want to start getting into that market. So
Yeah.
I'll probably be in your brain once I step into that space a little bit more.
Evan, what did you think of the self-storage?
Man, it was, and these actually were a little bit bigger. They were almost shops, really. One, there was a giant 80 by 100. It was a cabinet shop. And then the others were like 30 by 40 shops with heaters. And it was good. It was good. It really
Yeah.
was. Bought it right, built some new units in it. And it was a great deal. It really was. It seemed like the turnover was a little bit higher than what I expected it. And I feel like the market is really starting to get saturated now. Seems like on every corner there's storage and shops.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's coming in and people from all over the nation are just finding land and building them. So I feel
Mhm.
like right now it's a little bit oversaturated, but if you can find some pre-existing stuff, mom and pop, that hasn't raised rents in a while and get it at a pretty good price, I feel like there's good opportunity with that.
Yeah. Yeah. My dad used to say you make money when you buy, not when you sell. So like I feel
Absolutely.
like if we buy it at the right price, no matter what it is, it'll make money.
Yep. Yep.
I almost stumbled into a self-storage unit. It was out in Ranger, Texas, and it sounded just so cheap that I couldn't lose. I think it was
Yeah.
only 70,000 bucks. But then when I
Wow.
went out there to see Ranger, Texas, it was a ghost town.
Yeah.
There's just population of 1,500 people, and the reason I didn't buy it was because the population kept trickling down. So like it
Down.
went
Exactly.
from 3,000 to 2,000 to 1,000 or whatever. And
Yep.
there, I don't understand it. I don't know why, but like in those kind of markets, I've heard you just run, don't go there
Yep.
because for
Yep.
whatever reason, people are leaving.
Yeah, really, the small town is dying all over the United States. People are going to big cities, and it's been like that for 20 years. If you look at the population on these, especially towns that are usually like 20,000 and under, unless there's some sort of new development or energy or like natural gas or something that's going to be bringing jobs in, it's just like these towns are slowly dying. So I've really tried to stay away from those markets. I've come across some really good stuff that if it was here in Amarillo proper, I would have jumped on it, but I'm glad I didn't at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like the Amarillo market. Y'all have a lot going on over there.
Yeah.
And
And that's what I meant to ask you. So they're building these giant AI data centers over here. Have you heard anything about those?
a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I
That'd
heard
be a
that
good contract to get right there, bro.
that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Abilene's about to blow up too. They
Yep.
have
Mhm.
Starlink and a few big things
Yep.
coming.
Yep. Yep.
We're
Yep.
working closely with a hospital at maybe acquiring some like larger properties and building some hospital
Yep.
campuses actually. And
Nice. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I've been hearing some whispers. I got a lead on some apartments of this guy who's not in the best space financially. And I tried to make a run at him, but he was pretty stubborn. I don't know if he just had another avenue or what, but that's another guy was telling me about all of the stuff coming to Abilene and how it's about to just blow up. And I was like, I don't think I could lose here if I bought apartments there. So
no, I don't
it,
think so. My partner just closed on, I think it was like 80 acres or something out there. It
no.
was a lot. And they're planning on putting apartments. We're hoping to win that job, but they're getting ready to really expand and blow it up.
That's
It's going to
crazy.
be,
Hey, I think anywhere in Texas, it's like things are just Houston's growing like crazy. They're
oh,
bringing
yeah.
stuff there. I think anywhere in Texas, if you just are around real estate in any form or fashion, you're gonna make money.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
I
it's
think so.
hold it long
Long,
enough.
long as the population keeps coming here.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny, we were going to dinner at my dad's house yesterday and we saw all these skeleton blow ups and my son wanted to go look at them. So we pull up and then the lady comes out and, oh yeah, we were talking to her and she's like, yeah, we just moved here from California. And that seems to be the common theme. New York, California, people are just flooding into Texas in droves.
Oh yeah. And I can see why. I've
Yeah,
traveled a lot to those other states and it's made it so hard to do work or
sure.
conduct business. It's not worth it.
Absolutely.
Just like Florida for me, I've got friends there now that I could do projects in Florida, but the red tape for me to go get a license just about 6 months, what? I may not even have that opportunity
Yep.
anymore. That client's probably not
Absolutely.
interested. Like, why
Yep.
even do it?
Yep.
There is a loophole. If you buy property, you can self-perform and build your own property. You just can't do
Oh,
it for third parties. So I was
okay.
getting into some of that, trying to figure out ways to just make
Make
a
it
deal
make it
work.
work. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. In Florida, once all those, remember when that apartment fell on all those people right
I was
there?
there. Yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
was
Yeah.
in Florida
So
when that
that,
happened.
yep, that has changed so much of the regulation.
Mm.
And a ton of these apartment owners are incurring these giant costs, and it just doesn't make sense. A lot of them are fire selling them. It's really hurt the market there. I think it needed to happen, but man, you know how it is when something like that happens. They put so much red tape on everything.
Yeah. I've heard that they now require like maintenance logs and those kind of things to like keep track of it because someone had told them that building was going to fail at some point and they just kept deferring it. They
Oh,
didn't want to
wow.
do anything.
Yeah.
And I think there was a swimming pool or something on the top floor of the parking
Wow.
garage or something. And when it collapsed, it caused all the other structural
Sure.
columns to collapse. And it was just tragedy. Over
Definitely.
there in the ocean, you get all the salt water in the air and it
Salt water.
corrodes all
Yep.
the steel. And
Feels that still. Exactly.
Miami and Dade County over there is the most strict building regulations in the United States because it falls under like the hurricanes. So
Oh,
in
wow.
Dade County, they have concrete roofs. And that's where that happened, but they just didn't have a maintenance log or the maintenance issued requirements to maintain that structure to stay in place and that they would make their repairs.
All right.
So yeah, it's difficult.
I would
And
love to own an Airbnb over there, but then that's what I'm sure insurance has gone through the roof with all the hurricanes and I'm
I
sure
don't
it's
know. I wouldn't do it. Everyone from Florida moved out of Florida.
yeah,
Then the people that are in Florida are there like part-time.
yeah,
And when we were looking at property in Florida back in like 2007, it was so weird because we could go down a neighborhood and everyone had a for sale sign on their front yard. But the prices really weren't that attractive because for them to sell it, they would need to do a short sale. And a lot of the banks weren't
right.
doing short sales. So they ended up as foreclosures. And it was just a tough market. That's a second home market. And when it's a second
Right.
home, that's the first one that they let go.
Absolutely. Yep.
So
Yep.
I've always tried to stay away from the second home markets and stay away from like lake houses, that kind of stuff where it's more recreational. Like people don't
Yeah,
want to live there full time.
sure.
I would love to have a lake house or a beach
Yeah,
house.
exactly.
It's
But
just,
hey, just go freaking Airbnb it. And then the problem with
yeah,
vacation rentals is you feel obligated to go there instead of, hey, let's go somewhere else. So
sure.
I think that's probably right. I'll just stick to crummy rentals here in Amarillo.
I love Amarillo. Y'all
I
get
do
more
too. It's a
snow than
great market.
anyone else. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We get pounded sometimes. Feet of snow. People don't realize they think Texas is hot, but it gets hot in the summers, cold in the winters here. But the people are great. That's why I love it. The Panhandle's great.
Yeah.
People are awesome. We have a lot of industry coming. We sit on the biggest natural gas reserve, I think, in the nation. It's
Oh,
huge.
wow. Yeah.
Now, I had heard that solar isn't as efficient, and they're really going to be making a move to natural gas, trying to implement it more and whether all that. So it'll be interesting to see. I think, it's a good place. It's a good place. I'll probably stay and raise my family, but we do a lot of traveling too. I enjoy getting out of here sometimes as well.
Yeah. There's a hotel we always stay at when we do a project in Amarillo. It's called the Barfield, maybe? Is it?
Barfield?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, where
Yep. The
it has the
Barfield.
old
Yep.
speakeasy
Yeah.
with the Paramount, and you like pull a
Yep. Yep.
Paramount cigarette thing and it opens a
Cigarettes and
trap
go down.
door. It's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it is. It's sweet.
Yeah.
I'm glad they brought that here. It's been a lot of. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but tell me, where do you see yourself going? What's the next year look like? What's the next 5 years? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to grow? Are you trying to stay the same size? What's on your agenda?
I'm trying to get in with the good companies and chase them around. I've been chasing 7-Eleven for about a year, and they're finally sending me a project in Gainesville. But
Nice.
I would love to get in bed with someone like 7-Eleven, Dunkin' Donuts, QT, Racetrack. Like my business model is to try to chase down those guys that want to do the same thing over and over again, and I want to be that person.
Sure,
And
absolutely.
my goal is to hopefully hit around 100, 150 million and finally retire. or sell the company. That would be another option. We've been talking about maybe building it up, selling it in 5 years to some big company like BlackRock that can come and take over.
Yep.
And then just fully invested in real estate. I really like the triple net type of commercial real estate deals. And my goal is to try to pass the education, the knowledge down to my son.
It's funny how the connections in life happen in the weirdest ways. Stuff that you would see as, man, this house didn't sell, kind of not the best thing. But it's been an amazing thing. It's made you a lot more money than that house ever would, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I was nervous for a little bit because I had held that loan. It was a hard money loan.
yeah,
I had held it for a little over a year and
okay,
they were
months, yeah,
starting
hard
to
money,
think
no
about
kidding.
foreclosure. And I'm like, I got to do anything but that. Like, that is
Sure,
not an
sure.
option.
Yep,
So I met Harley, and then out of nowhere, he's telling me about these lenders that can work with me because I was high in equity. And yeah, it all worked out really well. I never have seen a foreclosure. I've never done a bankruptcy, nothing like that. And I just say real estate is a great tool to use. And I wish more people would use it and do it because it's just like different little streams or pockets of investments and streams of
absolutely.
income. And it can be a beautiful thing. If
Yep,
we're just depending on us to perform that kind of income every year, it's challenging. But when you buy little things and park them,
yep.
it just gives you a leg up.
It does. It's working for you. Your money's working for you. Somebody else is paying the mortgage down. You're getting the tax benefits. That's
Hmm.
something I've really been looking at more is these bigger properties is taking doing a cost segregation on it and taking the
Hmm.
depreciation all up front. You can get hundreds of thousands off on your taxes. You can spread it over multiple years. There's a ton of
Hmm.
things you can do with real estate. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. And transferring 401ks into real
Yep.
estate, doing 1031 deals, doing cost segregation accounting, like there's just so many opportunities that a lot of people don't utilize or know. Maybe at some point in my life I'll try to get in the educational realm, but for now,
Yeah.
I've got to build up the portfolio. And
Yeah.
I really enjoy the construction. I think that school districts and stuff should definitely be teaching kids more of how to be hands-on. I don't
Yes.
understand why they want everyone to learn about the periodic table. I've never
No.
once gone to a job site and brought out my periodic table and been like, aha, these are the elements that we will be using. I failed that
Exactly.
class like
I
three
know.
times.
Yeah, oh, I know. Absolutely. I agree. I think people are starting to wake up. Trades are starting to become, kids are deferring going to college and just going and getting their welding or electrical or plumbing or
Hmm.
something. I think people are starting to wake up. AI is changing the game. It'll be interesting to see how that
Yeah.
shapes things in the next 10 years. I can't even
Hmm.
imagine. I think in what we
No.
do is so specialized that AI is not gonna put us out of business. It'll just make us even stronger.
Yeah, I think it helps us operate more lean to
Yeah.
where instead of just having all these bodies and like high overhead, now we can do skeleton crew stuff and still have, you just make more.
Yeah.
And I was looking up, so that AI software I'm using is called Mercator AI,
Uh-huh.
and it's a database that can pull land transfers, replats, those kind of things before they hit the permit desk.
So do you pay a fee to them if you get the job, or do you pay a monthly
No,
subscription?
it's just a subscription. I think it's about 500 a month. It is pricey. We're just on our first month, but
Yeah.
you just make one or two good relationships off of that, and it
Right.
more than pays for itself.
That's huge. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna get you hooked up with this AI data center out here.
Yeah. Please do. And next time I'm in town, I'm giving you a call so we
Yeah,
can go get
holler
some
at me,
steaks.
bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, for sure.
I've been wanting to try that place where they have the big Texas steak where it's all you can eat 32 ounce or something crazy and it becomes
Uh-huh.
free. I
Yep.
don't think I'll be able to do it, but I want to see it.
Dude, it's giant. It's massive. It's fun. The Big Texans is good, but there's better steaks. I'll take you to some good
Yeah,
steakhouse here.
I can see
Absolutely.
that.
I got some good spots. OHMS, have you been there? It's right across
Mm-mm.
from the bar field. That place is bomb, dude. They get an
Oh,
elk tenderloin, amazing, great fillets. Hey, thank you for taking the time today. How can we get a hold of you? Shout out your, do you want to give your socials or anything that in case people want to reach out to you?
yeah. So I'm on Facebook. It's under Trevor Turnbow. And then I also have Instagram under T Turnbow Co. And then my phone number is 945-275-9869. If anyone ever has questions about construction, needs help with development or anything.
Yep.
Love to be a part of it.
Thank you again for taking the time out of your day. I know you're a busy dude, so.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thanks, man.